go, or rather, get going again.
Welcome back for anyone who has left and coming back, or thank you for sticking around. We are back getting ready with our second race of the night with a flag set that just makes things so much better for the viewers and so much worse for the racers. Everything's harder.
Yes, we have a whopping only malices, and every item is rolled down. So everything is either 0 up to possible -4. And with these glorious malices, do you want to read them off, Fabian, or should I go for a second round and just cry on the inside?
You know, it'd be fun for you to do it, but I missed out the first time. So let's go with the fighter. -5 luck, -1 MDef per level. So not as good as it normally is, as everything else is. The thief, -20 agility and no masa. Yeah, it can still get the katana and whatnot later, but that's lack of agility kind of sucks. Meanwhile, black belt, no bracelets, -30 hit points. We're not going to see. Oh, never mind. We are seeing black belts for at least 2 of the racers so far.
We have
Red
3.
mage is no temper and -10 strength, so that's a chance of using as a melee character, not so valuable. White mage, -10% hit point and -1 hit per level. -1 hit per level makes it less valuable as the white samurai, but that actually, never mind, that's all hit. -10% hit, -10% hit per level, or 1% hit per level. The white mage is basically vanilla.
Yeah, it's fine, you just can't hit.
And the black mage, -10% luck and -10% MDef. You put a ribbon on that and you're good to go. So honestly, the white and black mages are the best characters that there is in these parties, bar none.
As you do.
And admittedly, the black belt, -30 hit points, early glass cannon, but if you put the experience onto it, it is the punch cannon. It will get activated eventually.
That's it. We have our glorious runners here. We've got good old Burt Reynolds. We love him quite dearly. And Goat's Pirate, who is a meme and absolutely lovable. Sorbius here as well. Not someone I know quite as well, but a lovely member of the community nonetheless to be taking part in this league.
With those parties, as you pointed out, there's black belts. There are 3 of them. The only differentiating factor, it looks like, is the thief going in slots 1 for Ghost Pirates and Sorbius.
My best guess on those black belts would be a matter of just no bracelets, not the worst thing in the world, and negative HP when you already don't have that much HP, and everything's going to be bad anyway. You might as well go for it.
Yeah, that bracelet isn't something you normally put on black belt, because by the design of how the black belt works, it usually doesn't need armor at all. In fact, having a piece of armor on the black belt when it's leveled up, it nerfs its absorb, because it gains absorb at higher levels.
This is true. And our racers are off. They are picking up these early magics, which we have some decent ones to pick from. Harm 3 and Invis on the white mage side, as well as Saber, Bane, and good old Ice 2 on the black side. Not the best spells for the black mage, particularly considering red mage is notably absent from today's settings. But still, early Bane might be useful. Solid 1 out of 10.
Oh my lord, a Saber rolled vanilla. That's almost buyable if they had the money. It looks like Sorbia's taking the interesting one. It's going up to get the king's item, finding the canal, and immediately backs out.
I mean, yeah, it's not that great of an item where they're on. Maybe if you had a boat. You know how much we wanted one of those.
Yes,
Burt Reynolds
true.
checking the Temple of Beings. Rather quick peek. Meanwhile, Goat's Pirate taking advantage of that early harm and zapping. Ooh, I've never seen zap work. It's an auto-kill one, right?
Yeah, yes, it is. The zap is space. It's either space or time. I think it's time magic. It zaps into the 4th dimension.
And an early TNT from that princess for Goat's Pirate, and Burt Reynolds will be picking that up very shortly after.
Indeedly do, and I do believe we are not
or not.
Unfortunate.
Gonna say, I don't think they do, but the beginner settings don't do save on death, do they? I think that was something I added when I first played.
Looks like Sorbius going up, checking Matoya's closet. This is not a entrance and floor shuffle like the last race, so where is where it should be, just harder.
Geography failures like me stand a chance.
You know, our first look at what the pirates have coming out of Provoca for Ghost Pirates.
Now hopefully this Harm 3 will deal with them pretty easily. Hopefully.
It really should, because even with this flag set, those pirates are meant to be faced at like level 3 or 4 on a party that doesn't have sweepers, so it really does turn into a joke with the randomizer.
Oh yes. And a rod. All the things to get there, that's not high on my list.
I mean, why would Vicky give away his peg leg?
I mean, it hasn't been serving him as well these years. He's getting a bit of that artificial limb chafing.
Yeah, it looks like we have an interesting, fun little flag here. Shuffled building locations here in Provoca. White and black magic moved right next to each other. How convenient.
We do have life available for our white mage. That is big. That is one of the few usable in battle ones, which I think is in this flag set. And for the black mage, Fire 3, we have an actually good spell. Not that Ice 2 is terrible, but Fire 3 is better.
Meanwhile, Sorbius finding some wolves and finding some face-down thief and black belt and level 1 hit point left on CCCC, the white mage.
I mean, the dirt is delicious. Also of note, the black belts are receiving 50% experience in this flag set. It is rather rude to them.
Understandably so, because anyone who does not know the black belts, the way the black belt works, it gains more hits as it levels up like any other character, but its damage is not calculated based off of its strength, it is calculated based off of its level in part. So if you can bring it up to, normally I believe 42 is the breakpoint to have 8 hits, at that point it is usually doing over 1,000 damage with its bare hands. And moreover, the vanilla growth for its MDef on the black belt is the greatest of any character class in the game. That is the slab coming out of Narek down at the bottom of Dwarf's Cave. But the black belt will gain so much MDef that by that same level 42, it'll effectively have a ribbon's worth of protection and higher absorb just as a base from leveling. It is actually ironically inefficient to promote using the tail if you are trying to focus on bringing a black belt up, because once it's promoted, the master, its promoted class, does not have that MDef gain, making it a less effective character without requiring ribbons and armor.
We don't know if it's a bug, so we left it in.
And that is why we call it the punch cannon. Burt Reynolds getting that slab as Ghost Pirates has made it down to Marsh Cave, and Sorbius has made it in and dealt with the pirates.
Quite loving Ghost Pirates in combat Thief Sprite, which is looking the other way due to their increased run.
Indeedly do. It is the proper orientation of the thief most of the time.
As someone who plays rogues in D&D, yes. Yes, it is.
I will always love the archetypal ogre rogue. It's not your traditional rogue. It shouts at you saying, "I'm not here!" And you have to believe it.
And I'm personally a fan of the Orc Bard, because nothing said that Perform had to be singing.
Very true. And that is the Herb coming out of the dungeon, just avoiding that entire crown chain that it normally has.
Burt Reynolds checking bottom of marsh. Alongside Ghost Pirate?
Yeah, just waving hands, or waving at each other as they go by.
Yeah. A little bit of a wave, the thief going one way, the black belt duck going the other. Because, I mean, if you pass a duck on the street, you always have to say hi.
You know, as an Oregon State Beaver fan, I can usually just ignore them out of principle. Yeah. Oh, Oregon Ducks, Oregon State Beavers, we don't usually get along. When we do, it's usually due to marriage, due to regions, and then all the children just end up being platypi.
I approve. Oh no! It's a delicious turkey! And that is the herb at the bottom, and we're immediately turning that in on Ghost Pirate's side. Let's check it out. It's the ship! We finally get to go places! Everyone get your jazz hands out.
That is so much nicer than the race earlier, than our last race, where the ship didn't have a canal to get it out of the inner sea for so long.
This is true. Our racers basically all but started with that.
Ooh, gargoyles wiping Bert out. That is pain.
But is it as painful as when they inevitably find the massa and it's -4?
It's totally possible, unfortunately for our runners. Meanwhile, we see a level 3 magic. We've got Fog 2, Harm 4, not horrible white magic there. Lock and Slow 2, nah, not so great magic for level 3 black. White magic at level 4, that was Life 2, Fog, Cure 3. That is some pretty heavy magic.
And for black, Temper, the big one that stands out. Lightning 3, not bad either, but that Temper is going to be, well, pretty much the key to late game, if I've learned anything about Final Fantasy Randomizer.
Yep, and given that the primary damage dealers may very well be these somewhat not nerfed white-black casters. At least short of the punch cannon if it takes some time to get online.
That said, notably, we have not seen much nuke. I wonder which level it's at. At this point, I think the best prayer is for 5, because level 1 through 4 are kind of your major spell slot ranges. 5 through 8, you only get through promotion, but even then, at near max levels, you're only looking at 3 to 4 slots.
Indeedly do. The levels that you need to gain to be able to get the charges. That is one advantage given to the Blursing for free spells on any character, because those free spells are automatically placed in one or more slots at level 8, 2 base charges. You may be locked out of having any other level 8 spells, but you have 2 charges. Ghost Pirate, our first runner out of the inner sea, looks like he's making the long run towards Crescent.
And looks like we have Bert doing a little bit of a grind up. Probably not the worst idea, considering everything is significantly lower. As well, Bert has an empty party slot. Now, that can seem like an odd choice to some. Why? When you could, have a thief for the runaway, or what have you. But that empty slot does mean that every battle, there is a better experience yield for everything else there. So, if it's not something that you're going to necessarily use, taking a blank slot can still be an advantage.
Yep, just like in the Manila game, unless a flag that has been created is set, having 3 party members gives you 1/3 of the experience points on each of those party members, and if one of those party members is dead, then that 1/3 of experience gets shifted over to the other racers, meaning 2 men up is half and 1 man is full experience per that person, and that is the crystal coming over the Crescent Lake Sages.
And that is an easy enough turn-in when we don't have random entrances all over the place.
Indeedly do. It's very refreshing from the tracker standpoint not to have to worry about that.
See, I'd like to imagine, whenever that thief's in the store looking the other way, he's just talking with the others about what they should buy. Backwards Thief is a Democratic member.
I can just imagine Backwards Thief is actually casing the joint, checking what's available in front of the counter.
No, see, that'd be if he's in slot 2. If he's in slot 2 and he's, in the back. But the others are looking at him. They know he's gonna steal something.
Oh wow, that Doug is sitting low for Burt Reynolds, going down to 1 hit point. Then the Black Mage takes a hit, finally gets away from the Curse Shark to get the Herb. Hopefully Burt Reynolds can actually make it out of Marsh this time, as Sorbius is doing just now on Marsh 2 and going up.
Hoping so. We implemented staving in dungeons yet? Can we do that?
Unfortunately, we don't have sleeping bags that can be used in dungeons. And interesting, those were some, were that Gur imps or normal imps with fire 2 that just wiped Goat's Pirates out, making him go all the way back to Crescent. Looks like he's gonna take some encounters, or try and take some encounters, but is being thwarted by the long run off of Reset. Makes an overworld grind pretty hard when you can't get a fast encounter.
Yep, very much so.
And Sorbius is out as Bert is trying to take care of some gargoyles to get back out as well.
Oh dear, those are some low levels. I miss the times of good stats. Many experiences.
And Bert finds a pack of wolves, and the pack of wolves does him dirty. Bert is out of marsh, no gear, or no herb acquired.
That said, Goat's Pirates got some Pediatas. This could go well.
Very true. These are known as Pediatas. I have not honestly heard, but EX Peds. They are a juicy early-ish encounter as far as experience. They are not exactly resistant to things like Harm 3 with the Harmall, Lit 3, or many other elemental sweepers. Do very good damage.
Grabbing that. That said, those Pediatas probably a good chance for at least getting out of the red zone here.
Indeed. And Sorbius, our second racer, to get out of marsh, get to the castle, and get some boating action in. Gets that Prince's Royal Yacht to use.
It's that glorious summertime air, you gotta get on the yacht. That said, I know this pack of scorpions is never a fun time, but it is a large number of enemies when you can just sweep them with harm and fire.
And having that early fire 3 is doing plenty of work.
Now, if I recall my geography correctly, the level 5 and higher spells are all located on the other continent, which generally requires you to be able to fly.
The level 5 magic is at Melman, level 6 is at Crescent, level 7 and 8 are split between Onrak, Gaia, and Lefeinian. The interesting idea of having multiple locations with magic of multiple levels.
And I'm just taking another peek. I don't think we have the superstore here.
I doubt it, because that would be easier for the runners.
This is true. But come on, we gotta give them some sort of a bone.
Well, the nuke at level 5 is available if they get it up there.
I'm gonna say the only bone they have is that that consistently dead duck.
And Ghost Pirates, with all the exploration so far, has the orb. Gonna go ahead and or the crystal. Gonna go ahead and turn that into the witch at the top of her cave. Raid the loot boxes for some penny cash.
I mean, it's better than no cash. And there's a canoe. Ship and canoe, like I mentioned. Good access to most of the world. Basically means you can dock pretty much wherever you want. That said, we don't have the extra docks in.
Indeed, at this point, you'd be able to get 2 ordeals with the river dock. You can also get 2, well, actually, honestly, ordeals. You cannot get to Lefeinian, you cannot get to Gaia without any modifications to the map.
Oh dear. And with no modifications, that means that ordeals is probably gonna have to be something really juicy here. I'd say either a floater or maybe an adamant to go back to the dwarves.
possible. We do, however, still have the river system, so we have access to Ice Cave, which is indeed incentivized, and then we have access to Volcano for a lot of loot chests and a carry fight.
This is also true. Granted, our runners are not near the experience they want for that yet. We have Ghost Pirates stopping by Melmond, everyone's favorite city to hate. Translating the slab. For later.
Once you finally get in the air and go down and deal with the Hermit Kingdom of the Elves.
There is that level 5 nuke spell. Sadly, not the money to get it. Oh, yep. Just enough for a heal 3, which, you know what? Better than a kick in the teeth.
Indeedly do. And the good news for our runners is that slot 2 is learnable without promotion, whereas slot 3 would normally have warp and be completely promotion locked. And since they're not planning to promote running that black belt, it's a thing. And it looks like Ghost Pirate's gonna go ahead and check the Hall of Giants. Interesting fact about the randomizer and what we learned in creating it, these 2 trap tiles in the Hall of Giants normally only have, well, their titular giants on them in vanilla, but instead of being a single trap tile repeated over and over again, there are 2 different trap tiles with 2 different parties that were vanilla, just set to be the same encounter. So now with the randomizer and randomized trap tiles, the Hall of Giants more often than not, if not every single time in my experience, can have different encounters.
As you do. Sometimes these games are held together with duct tape and witches.
And given the beauty that was this game at the time of its release and how janky as it was, yet almost fully functional as far as people cared, we just praised them. And nuke rolled on the mummies.
Oh dear.
That is very bad for that the mummy whiz mummy pack that was on that 3rd tile in the top room there on Earth 1. So that whiz mummy pack is just that much more scary.
Gonna say, as an interesting fun factoid, Baldur's Gate 3 came out today, a game based on the D&D system. So you can look at this, one of the arguably first games based on it, at least for normal console releases, and see how far we've come in, oh god, 30 plus years? Am I that old?
It still amazes me that the vast majority of what are JRPG's progenitors were based pretty much off of D&D's mechanics. But you also have to remember, back when this was a game, we had things like, what was it? Not Dungeons and Dragons.
I know there were a couple of DOS-style games that were very text-based at the time as well.
Yes, you had the standard dungeon crawlers, had Wizardry, that was the franchise. I believe there was an NES version of Wizardry, which was interesting dungeon crawling in a vector map environment.
I know there's definitely some DOS Baldur's Gates, or not Baldur's Gates specifically, but Dungeons and Dragons ones. They are
really
a slog to try to play nowadays. N not known command, but you accepted it 3 seconds ago. No.
Good old-fashioned text parsers.
Yep. Not that they're not enjoyable in their own way.
It would be an interesting thought. What would happen if you gave ChatGPT instructions on how to print, or instructions that were based off the prompts associated with one of those games? Could a generative AI text generator actually interact with and play a dungeon crawl or a text-based dungeon crawler?
It would depend. I wouldn't use ChatGPT. I'd probably use one a similar. I don't know if you know about Seth Bling. He was a Redstone YouTuber for Minecraft, but then he swapped over to doing Super Mario World speedruns. But he is a brilliant programmer and programmed a bot to play Super Mario World levels. And basically, you can only do it one level at a time, but it was programmed to based on its horizontal progress through the level, assume that it had done better, and then proceed to use one of those generational AIs. So every time it failed, it would reset and proceed to try something new, until it eventually would learn, like, basically what equated to button combos that played the level instantly, as like a repeated pattern. It was very cool.
Yep, and we have Sorbus down in ordeals. Gotta go through the pillar maze, and no warp in hand. Already finds a warp back to the same room off that first split. Do we find another warp back? It looks like no, and we're into the 4-pillar room. Get your pillars in chat. Looks like first pillar is our first shot, and see what it is, as Ghost Pirates meanwhile has made it down into Earth 2 and is on his way towards the door to the vampire room.
There's a vampire in there? I was gonna say roll your d4 for magic missile damage and hope it's 1. Is it 1?
Oh my word, it was the first one, but unfortunately he took top and it was bottom in the final split. So first pillar is the win.
Burt Reynolds picking up that crystal after that bit of stumbling trying to get out of Marsh with that herb. Oop, and we know these mummies are mean.
And there are 5 of them. Trance mummies with nuke. This is just delicious. Who rolled this seed?
I don't know, but I was here, so I cursed it. Oh. Oh. Almost beautiful. The wizard money survived.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls in chat, please thank our seed roller, Dark Moon, for this glorious experience that our runners are having, and we are enjoying watching them deal with.
I say maybe me, he, and I should change our LADXR FFR team name to Run Cursors.
As Burt gonna go ahead and turn in the orb, Ghost Pirates is our first runner down on a fiend floor, having made it through whatever that thing was blocking the loot plate, or not loot plate, I should say, the rod lock, and is gonna deal with a speed bump.
2 speed bumps. Da-dum, da-dum. And congratulations.
Harm 4 and Fire 3 set to go out if the trance doesn't get the effect. So far, the Black Mage standing tall for Sorbius, and nope, and resets out again.
Alright, we're looking at a swirl of pixels. Do you see anything? I'm not sure.
Some yellow streaks of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I see some purple. That's a really rare color to find in old games.
I mean, it kind of looks like he has a pirate hat on. This might be some version of Bicky.
I mean, there's some bones. Maybe it's a oh no, what is it? It's the Jolly Roger. That's the flag.
Well, whatever the case may be, Burt Reynolds is on his way into Earth Cave now. About to check the Hall of Giants, says whatever this bumpy speed lump thing is, it's putting some good damage in on the party, but the fire and the harm doing good jobs on it, and the speed bump has down. And Burt Reynolds, let's see if he tries this fight or just comes out of it, because I doubt he will want to take it, and if he does take it, he will find pain as he's about to do so. Nuke turn 2, or turn 1, he is immediately leaving.
Yep, I do believe there is a setting that they won't use back-to-back nuke, but I think that only applies per mummy.
Indeed it does. That is, for each enemy, it can only utilize nuke, another spell or ability, and then nuke or nuclear again. So you could even have on a final fiend fight something like there's a ribbon out of Titan's Trove that is huge to see for Ghost Pirates. But you can have the annoyance of a nuke or nuclear, immediately followed by one of the max elemental spells like Swirl, and then another nuke or nuclear right after it, just for extra devastation.
As you do, sometimes you just gotta disrespect them. You say, popping in to say hi to Sarda, and getting the adamant back to the salt mines with you.
We shall see if anything from the smithy is of value, and hopefully we'll see some liberated Hooray Dwarfs. I didn't see if anyone did do the right thing and free the Hooray Dwarf from his perpetual hooray screaming hell. He truly is the Hodor of Final Fantasy. He can only say hooray because it is his final words that he is perpetually aware of in the future due to this sudden awareness he was awakened to that he is stuck in a multi-millennia time loop.
It's fine. He'll be fine. He's very happy about it, at least.
Well, even Hodor could communicate saying Hodor. He just had inflections of Hodor that he said.
Hodor. Ho, farming implement, door, open.
And that is Bert's Brew.
Ooh, that is the floater. That is a talented blacksmith.
That is the second floater we have gotten from the smithy this day. And that is a very fast boat ride down and to the left for Ghost Pirates to get up in the air sub 30 minutes.
Now, I will note, on our incentive lists for a special weapon, the only one available is Vorpal, which is, not great. And notably, our Titan's Trove is not labeled for incentive locations, which means that that ribbon that was there was quite literally just random.
Runners are not gonna hate it, but the question would be how many of the runners actually check those 4 chests if they're not incentivized?
This is true.
Ghost Pirates restocking on potions from the Crescent Lake potion / item shop. Still haven't seen the incentive item though in the shop, which is always fun to track down, but with the skyboat in hand, that is something that is doable as we get our first look at the ice cave.
I like the ice cave.
Now here's where you do that ice baby, and that is ordeals with the ribbon. So that is our incentive ribbon and ordeals, and our first loose ribbon in the second chest off the left on Titan's though.
Yes. Look at this good boy remembering. It's more than I do. That said, I do not believe we have access to warp or anything of the like in order to make it easy to take advantage of ice caves, so we are dealing with just going in raw.
Giggity goo. Couldn't even give it the full giggity there. Either way, yep, this is our first look at ice, finding the mages, having to deal with those. The mages can be pretty dang dangerous, and of course mages in this game don't actually use magic normally, they just punch people. So, always interesting to realize that the loose walking around class. Ooh, trance nuke mummies on the spike tile.
Oh,
I think it might
no.
want to take a chance with going anywhere else and then coming back here if he needs to. Never ice is never ice for a reason.
I don't know. I say do it. But I'm also crazy, so.
There are 2 easily checked trap tiles here. Looks like gray worms, plus the trap tile that is linked here at the chest in the primary armory room. If there's a good grind tile here to take, they might just do that, because obviously with the black belt, you want the grind sooner than later. The sooner you can get your grind on with the black belt, the faster you go.
And with 50% experience, that grind's gonna be twice as long, baby.
Well, Zombie D is a solid choice for a grind if it doesn't run too thick, because it goes down with the spells they have, Harm 4 and Fire. It's weak to both of those. A light axe is actually a very nice thing to see, not as a weapon, but with the improved harm, the white mage can actually use it as a caster item, and it will, just like Harm 2, 3, or what have you, do damage to all other characters. It's just a free cast of Harm 2, regardless. Then, meanwhile, Burt Reynolds, going to Ice Cave, is about to find what that drop tile has, if he makes it there, because that is a dead black belt.
It's fine. He's got minus 30 health. That's it. I think empty party slot. You can't put empty slot at the front, so you always have to take that your first party member will have that high hit chance versus having the blank slot.
True.
Really?
You can have the blank spot over set, and I believe the randomizer by default makes it a grayed out Bicky sprite, so you can have a pirate running in front of your party. The thing is, though, just like having a dead first party member, you have that 50% chance of being hit just brought down onto the second party member slot instead, so you lose that front member's chance of being hit to absorb damage in a fight.
I'm learning. Help.
Run! Don't fight it! Just run!
No,
Harm 4
you gotta
gets out
believe.
and he gets through it. Harm 4 gets and the crit goes, and there are the dead mummies. Burt Reynolds has made it past the big wall of death. Unfortunately, without warp or exit, he's gonna have to do that again once he gets the incentive item.
It's fine. We just gotta believe in Burt Reynolds.
Meanwhile, Ghost Pirates has made it up to the Almanac continent and is going waterfall. Not only does this have the incentive item with the robot, this has another trap tile, and as we saw from the earlier race, that trap tile is a safe encounter. You can go up and down through the door, or you can go left to right along the bottom of the room, and there are no chances of off-tile encounters, so you're only ever encountering what's on that trap tile.
Gonna say, seeing this white mage with like 260 health and this underleveled black belt with 150 over on Burt Reynolds' screen, I am just feeling sad inside.
It's doing its job, and Ghost Pirates finds the Mummy Whiz Mummy pack in Waterfall and gets nuked, and didn't save before going in, so got brought all the way back to Crescent. What pain is this?
It's a fresh hell.
Those mummies show up in way more places than you might think.
Brrr, Wolf.
Goat's realizing he has the slab and it's translated. Gonna go ahead and take a quick check to see what this encounter is. Find steak and wings at the forest landing spot for Lefeinian.
Let's get Sorbius finally getting in some double-digit levels. Oh, this seed is pain.
As Burt has taken the two chests up at the top left and is finding fire -3, promo lock for a thief as far as weapon or armor, but nothing for the rest of the party. A couple of nothing. That is basically nothing but some money out of the 6-pack in ice. Ghost Pirate's very much happy to take this steak and wings grind. It's going down relatively easily. It's not that far into the encounter table, all things considered. And in fact, finding some sandworms. Some sandwiches are not a bad choice either. And being an overworld grind, this means he can do what he did before and just save after each encounter, which both lets him manipulate the encounter table by saving and quitting, as well as keeping those very, very hard to get levels and the gold that comes with it.
Heck money. Let's see. Oop. nice house. Useful in this
pro
economy.
ring.
Very useful.
Interesting, Burt Reynolds didn't get the incentive item. He exited out saved and is going back as the bottle was picked up by Goat's Pirate from Lefeinian. So he's going to have to go, Burt Reynolds is going to have to go all the way through. Oh, we were nice to the racers. The Lefeinian Superstore is in business. That is that is Fade at level 6 white. Level 7 as far as they can get, nothing good. And
well, I mean,
Ice
Warp's
3
not
at
terrible.
level 6.
Fast though locked to level 8 on the black. That's rough.
That is a very unfortunate warp location at level 7.
I mean, exit also being at 8. They're not getting at anything. We are going to see long slogs.
Ghost Pirates is knowing now that he won't have warp for the warp trick. He's gonna have to do what Bert's done and slog his way through the nuking, trancing mummies. That's one run through them this time for Bert. What will the second half do? It looks like Ghost Pirates is gonna go ahead and just use this as a chance to check overworld grinds, checking out this other landing location. Really looking for a thin blue stake. The Tyro, or the T-Rex, there it is. That is the best experience you can get from a single encounter. And it has hold, which is annoying, but not really super critical. It could bite much better than it can cast normally.
So I have a question. And that is, what's the layout difference between Ghost Pirates and everybody else's?
That, just like the sprite discoloration, is flags. So he can actually, in the randomizer, choose what color the interface is. In his case, he likes a red background to his encounters. He also has chosen the compacted screen, so that is why his life and character titles are below his party instead of behind them on the right.
Ah, see, that's what I was curious about. Never seen everything before.
It is actually a really nice change to the interface, and I very much appreciate the developers for implementing it. The modern battlefield flag, it looks like. Thank you, ADR.
I was gonna say, it does look very Final Fantasy 3. Or was it 3 that did that? No, it was 6 does that. Which is also 3, depending on who you are, where you're from, and what system you're playing.
Okay, I'm sorry, you just put a song in my head. I'm sorry to have to say it.
Oh dear. Do you want to belt it?
As long as you love me. Just think of what you just said, and then insert that at the end, and you'll realize.
No, I won't. I don't know the song. I live under a rock.
Classic boy band song.
I was gonna say, I might be a girl. That doesn't mean actually, you know what? No, that's a lie. I listened to a lot of Backstreet Boys as a kid. But hey, they had that one music video with the nunchucks. Like, come on, it was really cool.
Everyone knows boy bands are a thing, and they're always a thing. I mean, the Beatles were a boy band, and a lot of people don't think of them as a boy band, except for those people who grew up listening to them as a boy band.
Yeah, but I don't think we're ever going to be calling the Backstreet Boys classic.
Exactly.
You know what? Some of that might just be that we, like, unnecessarily really hate on, like, teen girls' things that they like.
Ooh, there's the katana. It was in that left chest that had not been checked before. -3.
Ooh.
Well, that thief is currently face down on the floor as the rest of the party's getting tranced. When will Sorbius see the nukes? Ooh, cremate. It's not as bad as nuke, but it's still pretty toasty as the Oxyale. What is this randomizer being doing randomizing nothing, giving the Oxyale from the ferry?
Is this the second vanilla that we've seen earlier?
I don't remember a second or another vanilla this far on this seed, but either way.
What was last seed? There was the herb given the crown. or crown, or thing. The
herb?
guy who's
Yeah.
evil.
That would have been French vanilla, if anything, because the crown normally gives you the crystal that then goes to the turn-in for the herb.
Really? Huh.
Yep, you get the crown out of Marsh, which takes you to Astos, which gives you the crystal which he had stolen from Matoya. Matoya gets her crystal back, and she gives you the herbal medicine to awaken the prince that Astos had put to sleep.
I should learn more about the vanilla game.
I'll admit, I played the vanilla game at least once a year since 1992, and then last year I found the randomizer and went, oh my god, finally people who understand. And joined the community almost immediately. And then realized I don't know nearly as much about this game as many other people do.
Yeah, I mean, I came into this community because I play LADX. Yay! Carble's bubbinated.
Yeah, thank you for ruining my brain there. Bubbles has been carbonated by Ghost Pirates as he picked up a pro ring, a very nice item to find. Anything to stave off death.
See, I realized I was saying the wrong thing halfway through, but you gotta, carry through with confidence. Ooh, massive -4, I called it!
You mean seed. But hey, it's still the best sword in the game for this, with the katana already rolled down. And another thing to note, that Masa is wieldable by that black belt, so before the black belt hits that level 20-22 cutoff to actually start being an effective puncher, it can, if you find a grind, solo grind with the Masa in hand to get more experience to bring its actual hands online. In fact, there you see it, the Masa is on that black belt. Gershard be done in by a black belt with a sword. And that is the marble coming out of the chest behind the vampire. I believe we've seen that for our other racers. That is actually the ruby for Burt Reynolds.
And I see, I have a better pun. It's, Massa Muniscule.
There's a better sword-ish. The Vanilla Dragon Sword. That could be handy.
Can't that only be used by fighters?
You know, you're right. It could have been handy.
Oh man, it would have been so great with that -5 luck. Why did we do this to them? Are we sadists? Have we always been sadists?
I mean, if we watch Jackass and laugh, I think, does that make yes? Because I'm fairly certain I laughed when I was growing up watching Jackass.
You know what? I think we all probably did. I'm not sure if I did. I don't remember seeing a lot of Jackass. Very whinge from what I do remember.
Well, here's the thing. Do you watch racing for the crashes?
No. I don't watch racing.
Do you watch fail compilations?
Generally, no. But as a kid, I definitely watched a couple of channels that talked about them every now and again. So you know what? I'll accept guilt. We do love laughing at other people's pain.
We are able to commiserate with them as well, so it's all in fun. Ghost Pirates is back out of, well, the dive into mermaids, down to the thief, getting the heck out of Dodge.
Run, we want to keep the incentive item.
And the Masa.
Yeah.
Which
Do it
might
for
as well
the
be
Masa
incentive.
thief. Because the Masa can't even be the incentive.
Nope.
We're out,
Not-
and we get to keep the bad sword.
Meanwhile, Oberus is doing... Serbius, I should say, is doing the ice pickup, getting that cube, it looks like, which Burt Reynolds was able to get out with, as Burt is on his way in to fight the speed bump.
So what you're
And the
telling me is it's
crown.
an ice cube?
very well forged with the extra. Use the aluminum molds that you press on the ice and it melts the shape in the ice. So it's got the actual.
Ooh,
It's a D6 that's made out of ice.
I like it.
Meanwhile, Ghost Pirates, it got out of the sea shrine, got the masa and the stick, or the masa and the chime, but ended up going to the store realizing, hey, there's a crown in here. So
Oh
he was able to
my.
pick up the crown at the store in Onrak. That is our incentivized shop item.
Discount Crown Warehouse. I mean,
we
when the
have an
king loses his job, you know, he's got to pawn it all.
We have an Astos to fight later on, but Ghost Pirates for now is going full on towards Kraken. Of course, he is going to check a few trap tiles on the way and some chests to go with it. And oh, the Seafood Party Pack packs Thunder. Bye bye, reset out.
Yeah.
What are these packs? Serbius, meanwhile, is out of Ice Cave, and I think Serbius wiped.
As you do.
Bert about to check what's in Titan Stone, find that ribbon and be happy as Ghost Pirates leaves the Onrak continent and is determining where to go from here.
No, Burt Reynolds just ignoring it. Keeping going. Not incentivized.
Ghost Pirates taking that crown in to turn it in, gonna find the key. That is a huge find as Bert gets the adamant from Sarda.
And finally get in the air once they go back to the salt mines.
Ooh, and Thunder out of Astos. These boss fights are properly being boss fights.
Gonna say, we say that as if, you know, we didn't need more help with all the negatives.
Well, here's the thing. A negative value, we could defer not necessarily requiring it to be a negative value. It could just be that the initial value you compare it against is greater, and thus the difference is more negative, regardless of whether or not your values are negative compared to what they were before. So, if the enemy bosses are stronger and have more health, then it's effectively harder, because it's a bigger difference between what they normally are and what they are in this case. In other words, if they get bigger, it's harder for the racers.
Because someone get out that meme of the girl with the mat. That was me right there.
You know, sometimes I have the ability to say things and they're actually completely coherent in a continuous run-on sentence that is easily, well, not necessarily easily, but logically breaks down into sense. But most of the times I'm just doing, what?
Yes, because meanwhile, I barbonate couples.
You were just trying to form your own meme, and hey, that is a huge find. That is the eye in a safe grind location in the locks at Toph. This is called the Way to Punch Cannon. Most of the incentive items have been found, so most of the experience gain from having those incentive items is in hand. Ghost Pirate's gonna go ahead and check the other two chests, but I do not doubt he will immediately begin the solo grind effort, downing his other characters. Maybe keep the thief up a little until, or keep his casters up a little until he can guarantee one hit, but this is going to be the grind of grinds. Just like most runners did in our last race in Waterfall, they have found the eye tile and the grind is real.
Say, loving that Masamune Black Mage. Yes.
Black Samurai Strats. Ho!
I was gonna say, the White Mage practiced White Magic, but he mastered the blade.
Oh my word, Ghost Pirates has proven me wrong. Ghost Pirates actually left and is going to Canaria. Oh, Canaria locked. This makes sense because it's a short jaunt. It gets another incentive item, and that other incentive item can be more experience gain. This is very smart.
This is true.
There's a reason that Ghost Pirates is running this and not me.
And it's the loot. That means that is a grind to go mode. Well, no, they
Indeed,
do still have to go after a bunch of fiends.
Well, I mean, realistically, the cube is a known location if he just gets through the ice cave, so that is a grind into full go mode.
That said, I can't see him wanting to go back there anytime soon.
Well, at this point, he knows it has to be that, because I do believe our only other incentive item location that is not in Sky is Ice Cave. And the cube cannot be in Sky because the cube is the lock to Sky. And like it's saying, Ghost Pirates has begun the grind. One thing to note is that the eye does not normally do good damage, so the eye is not normally the best thing to take down party members if you want to go down a few members and focus your experience on that black belt. That said, we know that this Temple of Fiends has some enemies that could do the job when the time comes.
Now, that being said, I think that means that Sky either has Hail or that Vorpal sword we haven't seen yet then.
Is this true?
Not that either of them are necessary on a black belt build.
And of course we have,
It's unfortunate though, we're not going to see those mages hit the necessary levels to get their 8th level slots, because that fast on Black Mage might be the difference between some people having an advantage or not. That
true.
said,
And Red Mage, our tracker from our last race, mentioning in chat that the Vorpal was in Waterfall. Thank you very much, Red Mage.
well then
And
yes,
noticing over
100% Sky.
on Burt Reynolds' side, he is in Waterfall and he is choosing to go with the Metal Slime grind. Normally just slimes in the vanilla game to naming, but these Metal Slimes, extremely good experience as a party grind, very much killable with Fire Magic, which Fire 3 is doing. That is a dead black belt for this run, but Burt will be able to bring it back. Level 23 and 24 on those spellcasters. This is doing much better for getting levels on the rest of the party, not just the black belt for Burt Reynolds. It is suboptimal if he goes down to just the black belt, given how absorby the metal slimes are and the fact they come into packs unlike the eye. But for a team grind, metal slimes are one of the best options.
Can't complain.
And of course, his metal slimes look like they're not just liquid silver. Oh, that is the ruse stick coming out of that the top chest in the Rodlock floor, the Asher chest, as it's known in the community. Giving the room of bats a hello. Fun fact about the Randomizer developers, they specifically moved some of the bats that are vanilla walking around this floor into that room because there are too many bats on that floor for anyone to actually want them to be there. And this was done before the NPC guillotine flag was created, which allows racers to interact with characters and sprites and remove them.
Murder, you say?
Famously, one of the few character sprites you cannot remove with the NPC guillotine are those that have secondary text, including everyone in Lefein. Thus was born the Lefeinian linebacker, where a Lefeinian in a small 1x1 passage just won't let you through.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Now, talking of another grind, Sorbius is taking the Whiz Mummy pack and utilizing some hard magic and getting some kills. 5 Whiz Mummies on that pack, only having 2 members up at the end was actually a really solid experience. By no means comparable to the Metal Slimes that Burt Reynolds is running away from, and as far as the solid experience gain and simplicity, not so comparable to the Eye, but understandable that he would take that fight, especially since there were no normal mummies that he had to worry about, like the one that's Burt's facing right now.
Gotta look out for those mommies and those mummies.
The one nuke.
Oh dear.
Oh, that is actually 6 mummies and a whiz mummy. I misread his color palette swap.
Due to the mommies.
The good news for him, though, that's some experience to go on 2 party members there because the Black Mage went down.
We take the small victories when we can.
Sorbius losing that Black Mage again, gonna bring it back up.
Oh my, I've never seen a potion count that low.
This is a scary thing.
Just remember, the best way to deal with wounds after a fight is excessive drinking.
I thought you were gonna say mommy kisses.
No, it's the only team that gets my mommy kisses. She deserves it with all these people bullying her.
Should Sorbius not having Exeter Warp, running out of spell or out of equipment or pots and the like, is running it out. That is an interesting thing to see when a runner is all the way down the rod lock, doesn't deal with the vampire, and just runs away. It's nearly vanilla. That Burt Reynolds has done with the Metal Slime grind is going to deal with a evil Dark Elf King with his key in hand.
Defeat the Dark Elf and get the key to the city! That's how democracy works, right?
Thundering King takes care of the Black Mage yet again, but the key is in hand and the experience is stacked on the important characters, the White Mage with life spells, and the punch cannon that is yet to get online for Burt.
Should we call him Captain Falcon now?
Falcon punch!
You gotta get the anime version though, where he's like literally falling through the void and it punches him so hard it creates like a star.
And Ghost Pirate's done with the grind, has decided to go kill a carry. Not fully stacked on experience, but decided to go basically just team grind up to that point.
Doesn't hurt to do. And we have to also keep in mind, Ghost Pirate is the only one that has the loot, so getting those fiends out of the way and taking advantage of some of the experience they can still offer in and of themselves, probably not the worst thing in terms of saving time. You can always go back to the eye after.
That is very true. And noting that he is in go mode, he is not checking a single chest on his way down, passing the armory floor, passing the Agama floor, going straight to the Snake Lady and the lava pit.
Burt Reynolds picking up their loot, which means now their grind with the metal slimes is going to pay off.
Burt just needs to chase down the chime, the oxale, and the bottle, but looks like Burt is gonna go and check and find the eye tile and go, wait, did I grind the wrong thing?
It's a very purple eye.
Now, Burt does not have the Masa, so Burt is focusing on punch, but even then, that White Mage doing a good job of getting damage done, Burt actually shifting it up so the White Mage is up front, giving the White Mage the higher probability of being hit. If this eye hits hard enough, it could chip down the White Mage, if it hits the White Mage at all. In fact, Burt taking the ribbon off, leaving that White Mage completely naked of armor.
Naked.
And down goes the Thief, and the Black Mage is down, taking some hits on that Black Belt. Carry not going down easy for Ghost Pirates. Cure 3 comes out, gets the Black Mage, or the Black Belt up a little, but the White Mage goes down. What is this, Tia? Or Kraken, I should say. White Mage down, but nope, there is a dead Snake Lady. Ghost Pirates gets the kill, and honestly, for the better, that Black Belt being the only one standing got all the experience for that fight.
One suplex later.
And Ghost Pirates now realizing he has the perfect condition. He has just the Black Belt up, he's going right back to the eye grind, I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
get fully Punch Cannon online, joining Burt Reynolds with the eye grind.
Yeah, so that could have also been it as well. Trying to force the fiends and seeing if like he could roll the dice and end up with this, considering the eye wasn't doing anything.
Very true, and that run down to carry with all those lava tiles just easily draining the life of his other party members, doesn't have to worry about it. And there's the adamant coming out of Sarda for Sorbius. That will be access to the sky for our third racer once it is checked in.
Finally! After all these years, the air calls.
The craziest thing about a map or an entrance and floor shuffle race where the runners were in the air sooner than a vanilla map race.
Well, the vanilla map race also bullied you with mummies.
Very true, because everything's harder. At least we're not giving the runners the no run or the unrunnable flag.
This is true.
Notice everyone that they can run away from what party encounters that would normally not be runnable in the vanilla game.
Turning unrunnable to 0, best decision.
That actually brings me to another creature comfort feature of the randomizer. In cases where you had an unrunnable encounter in the vanilla game, you could still run. It just did nothing. So if you didn't know that it did nothing, you were just wasting your time. What the runner or the developers of the randomizer did is they set it so if you're in an unrunnable encounter, you cannot run, you can wait. So your character does nothing instead of doing nothing with the excuse of trying to run for no reason.
I mean, you know, just don't take the big steppies.
Ghost Pirates making the step to remove the ribbon from the black belt. With the black belt at the level it is, that ribbon is actually hurting it because it would lose its absorb. It would be stuck with the ribbon's absorb alone. Now the black belt is taking less damage per hit and is now fully operational to one-shot the eye.
Oh dear, this is terrifying. Why did they allow this to happen?
This is just 6 hits. The black belt can have up to 10 hits. 10 hits, and each level increases the damage each hit does.
So what are the odds of someone eventually doing double black mage for the nukes and double black belt for the punches?
Well, the thing with the double black belt is you have to put that experience on 2 characters, and really, 1 black belt is 99.9% the job done. So why spend your time doing anything else? And Bert, actually having gone back to Northwest Castle, used the water trap tile to down for the rest of the party and is now in the solo grind, punching away at that eye. 400 damage. This is 2 runners at the same grind doing the same thing. Bring Punch Cannon online. Bert does have the advantage, though I would say probably has more levels on that white mage and black mage than Ghost Pirates did, having done that metal slime grind up to this point.
Very true. That said, Ghost Pirate is ahead overall with the black belt itself. Now granted, there's also the fact that Burt Reynolds' team is throwing around more experience in general, just from that missing member, so we will see how this goes, but this is anyone's game.
Yes, Piercing Mountain in chat. Punch Cannon is a thing, and Punch Cannon, as you can see, is coming online. Every single level is a step up in caliber. We may see 18-inch guns come out of these black mages, full-on Yamato. Right now, I'd say they're at 15 inchers.
I cast Punch.
Punch is super effective.
It has thematic components. And verbal if you yell really loud.
Oh my shit. If anyone in chat gets what I just said. Fist of Fury. I was thinking you were making a Fist of the North Star joke. Damn it.
Moda, 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 moda. Or, no, sorry. Fist of the North Star is...
Yes, JoJo's is a ripoff of Fist of the North Star in many ways.
As you do.
As the creator admitted, he took great inspiration for Fist of the North Star. Well, the black belt is the definition of throwing hands personified, or personification of throwing hands. So it's level 33 and climbing for Ghost Pirate. As Sorbius has gotten out of, or Lefeinian is checking Gaia Magic. Heal 2, Cure 2 at level 7 Gaia, nothing spectacular. Gotta stock up on potions if needed. And level 32 for Burt Reynolds, so he is not that far behind. One thing to note is since Ghost Pirates has the Chive and the Oxy Ale, he actually is gaining more experience from this fight due to the incentive item multiplying or increasing the amount of experience and gold you gain from fights.
True, you gotta counter at that half experience however you can.
That has the vanilla Oxy Ale picked up for Sorbius.
Now that said, with Burt Reynolds having neither the bottle nor the Oxyal as far as I can tell, it could be interesting. Now granted, there's not going to be many places to check, but that is still something that he has to go out of his way for.
Very much true. Sorbius checking the caravan to see if the incentive item is there, picking up some soft for safety. At this point, knowing that the crown, or well, knowing the item that we know is the crown, is in Onrak's store for sale.
And it holds our key. One of the two most valuable things, right next to the loot. I'd probably say the key is more valuable than the loot just because it has more uses, but the loot, you're not getting away with it. You can at least choose to put thief lockpicking on.
Yeah, that's very true. But of course, another thing we learned about the randomizer, there is actually one location in the game that is locked, even though in the vanilla game you would always have the key by the time you got to it, meaning there's basically no reason to have the key to that room required, and that is the TFC chest, the notorious chest in the Crescent Moon room in Sea Shrine on the right side going towards mermaids. It's very frustrating in the randomizer because it's possible to get there without the key, and there is in fact a flag in the randomizer that sets the incentive item in Sea Shrine being in a locked room, which that is the only vanilla locked room in the entire shrine.
That just sounds incredibly rude.
There's a reason it's TFC. Normally we just think that means that friendly chest, but take it to what you may. So far, and likely no runner is actually going to try and check TFC. It's not incentivized, it's out of the way. Now, notice the 8 hits for 1400 damage that we just saw out of that punch. 1200 damage that time for Ghost Pirates. And this is only 8 hits. This isn't the full fat 10 that can be had when leveled up. That is more damage with no buff spells than just about any other character in the game with their best possibly equipped weapon can do.
Oh my.
Level 42 has acquired, that is the answer to life, the world, everything, and levels of black belts. Any levels beyond this is just Gucci towards that extra 2 hits to get 10 total hits. the reason 42 is super critical is that, as mentioned before, the MDef growth of the black belt, when you hit level 42, effectively gives it a ribbon. It is extremely resistant to spells.
I see.
An interesting fact being that now that the black belt has been brought up to that level, if he does get the tail and choose to promote, Ghost Pirates would not lose that MDef. So he would have that gained experience and strength and absorption, but he would not gain any more at that rate. So promotion is not off the table, as Burt Reynolds has likewise made it out.
Gonna say. The sad part, though, is because of not getting the eye, or basically taking the eye grind on everyone, the rest of his party is slightly too high. They've missed out on a lot of their higher level slots, even if you were to promote now. So it might just be better to take this to the end.
Yeah, no,
Even though
ADR,
that fast is on level 8.
Very true, and ADR in chat correcting me that 42 is the 10 hit threshold, as well as that high absorption level. Thank you very much. Regardless, Punch Cannon online, Ghost Pirates going to deal with the Punchy Kraken, as Burt going to deal with the Swordsy Carry.
Gonna say that Kraken might be punchy, but we're punchier.
You can just imagine that these black belts are Saitama, and they now have learned and mastered consecutive normal punches.
Gonna say they did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and ran a 10-kilometer run every day.
You forgot the squats.
Oh, I forgot the squats, dang. I need to watch more One Punch Man.
So long as you don't think of the animation for Season 2 being to be bad, because it's not as bad as people make it out, it's good. But Season 1 was spectacular.
Oh yeah. Hey, I have watched a lot of Season 1. Didn't much get into Season 2. Granted, I have so many things on my watch list.
That is 2 orbs lit for Burt Reynolds, as the seafood activity down on Kraken's lore not doing any favors. 2 Ghost Pirates, a lone standing black belt, 340 hit points and counting down. Only able to hit one of them at a time. No magic available to sweep. Already down to 260. 2 snakes left to deal with. One left as a bottle gets pulled from the Lefeinians by Burt Reynolds, and Sorbius is on his way out of Waterfall. Ghost Pirate on Sharknado floor, shuffling around, taking that ribbon off of the black belt to move it to a character that actually can use it once it's back and alive, fully healing. That's 784 hit points. Should be enough, but we will see.
That translates to 2 nukes.
Roughly. In fact, that is another thing with this community, the concept of nuke-proof or nuke-resistant. If your party members are at or below 400 hit points, which is the max roll of a nuke or nuclear, you are susceptible to being one-shot by any character equipped with a nuke or a nuclear, which we've seen the mummies have nukes, so very, very scary.
I have now noticed that Black Belt's overworld sprite is the suplex dude from Final Fantasy VI. Did I not know? How did I not notice this throughout? There's a double dragon fighter in the fights. This is like, how have I not noticed this? That said, thunder from Sea Stakes. Thunder from Sea Stakes still hurts.
Yeah, they're not actually sea snakes. They're just mislabeled electric eels.
They're from one of those discount bins from Taiwan. Sea snake.
The Superman with Spider-Man in the packaging.
Yeah. The Justice Friends featuring Car, Shrek, Batman, Spider-Man.
And yet another set of those snakes taken care of. Running through those potions. 822 hit points now on that black belt. Chime acquired by Burt Reynolds. That is full go mode for Burt. Not checking the chest next to it though. So...
Well, at this point, not having a thief, the mass is not that good.
Very true. Post-grind already doesn't need it for anything. And hey, was there something on Ghost Pirate's screen? No, I didn't think so.
Yeah, what is a punchy kraken when you punch better?
That is 2 orbs, and the chime and cube should be acquired. Actually, has Ghost Pirate been back to ice yet to get the cube?
As far as I can tell, it is on the list of incentives there, or on the tracker. So I would assume yes. Our lovely tracker, who, mind you, this is Socket's first time on tracking, and they are doing a wonderful job, so everyone a round of applause for keeping up with this better than we have.
It looks like he has not, because he is heading in that direction relatively... Actually, no.
Yeah, no, that is...
He is going straight towards Mirage. He will hit that plate.
Yeah, no, it's in his inventory, I see it.
Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah. As fast as these racers maneuver...
No cube in that inventory, though. That is the issue.
Oh, you were looking at the chime. We were looking for the cube. So yeah, the cube is at ice, so
I thought you said chime.
Back there. Regardless, the racer has to do the thing. Okay, where is he going? Is he thinking that it's at Waterfall? He is misremembering.
Oh dear. There's a chance for Burt to catch up.
Indeed, the mummies addled his brain too much, and he gave up on it, and he just kind of forgot. And some guillotine to kill some bats there. Keep, mother trucker. You know, I always wondered why they were called Keats in Zelda, and then I found out, oh, yeah, Japanese. Again, the weirdest character name in Zelda was Pole's voice.
Very much so.
They're just bunnies.
Bunnies with very sensitive hearing. Yell into the mic on controller 2, if you're Japanese and have that. If not, good luck.
Hey, look what Ghost Pirates is having to deal with. That thing that ran him out of the place he should actually be.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the Wiz Mummy was smart enough to run. The mummies, they don't care. They kept fighting because they knew they had a chance to win, and they did.
Yep. We got a chance. We know Nuke.
Oh, Goats, you had a chance to run away, but you just went in further and you saved right outside the waterfall. This is not helping your case. Meanwhile, Burt is facing some waters down on Kraken's floor.
Yep.
And Sorbius is getting everything back up and running as they get out of Sea Shrine to save, having picked up the incentive item. Goat's gonna find the metal slimes and might take a fight with them, but he's not running from the
We would say Burt is ahead just in having that cube and the knowledge we have that Goat's Pirate is in the wrong area grabbing that Vorpal. And the immediate salty quit out.
He has the ninja, or the thief. If he were to promote, he could use the Vorpal, but he's not going to promote. He doesn't want to track down the tail. He just needs to figure out what, where, and why. He does not have the cube, which we know is Ice Cave. Meanwhile, Burt Reynolds has dealt with the Kraken, is now looking for that one last fight, and is on his way into Mirage.
Taking the detour around the O room. be in the sights. It's quite nice.
The greater than less than room, also known as Mirage 2.
And
I
yes,
find it funny that it's less or greater than less than, but man, we might have some technical issues. Sorbius looks like is stalled in marsh.
yep, those bats aren't moving. Oh, there, it's coming back. The timer stopped too, so it's probably something either internet or stream based. We'll leave them to it.
Ghost Pirate's on his way through through Ice Cave. Dealt with the ice drop. Meanwhile, Bert is on his way down through Sky 2. Will Bert even bother checking CC's Gambit, or will Bert just go straight for the Bridge of Destiny and a Tia kill?
I would see the Tia kill.
Doesn't bother with the metal slimes. He's already dealt with a bunch of them. Goes straight to the left and goes, and he's going left. Interesting choice. Does he go up or down? We have a left and vampires, and get some Edwards. The Whiz Vamps, as they are in fact in vanilla naming.
I mean, they're very sparkly with those white coats.
Indeedly do. And that is the cue for Ghost Pirates, and it is left and up for Bert. Unfortunately for Ghost Pirates, he still doesn't have Exit Warp, and fortunately for all of us, Burt Reynolds finds Wormack a few steps past the cube or the teleporter. There goes the white mage. Thankfully, the temper's coming out. The power, that is 10 hits for 1700 damage. That was a Wormack down. Level 30 for the black mage, level 44 for the punch cannon black belt.
Beautiful color on that Wormack too. A nice steel chrome finish. Alright, my poor girlfriend about to beat Mr. Punches. Ooh, she's wearing red today.
Looking stylish in red. Temper gets out ahead of the punch. Punch gets out 9 hits, 1500 damage. Another swing or punch, 1700 on 10. That's a lot of boo-boos to be kissed away. Either way, that is Bert in full go mode. Orbs active and ready to run.
Yep. Indeed, Robo Chicken for a quick snack. Last bit just to get that white mage up. Quick stay at the inn, gotta rest up, limber up those punching muscles.
And unfortunately, it looks like due to technical difficulties, it seems Sorbius has backed out. So this is a two-man race between Ghost Pirates and Burt Reynolds.
Aww. It sucks, but it do happen.
Trying to run it in with us either way.
Yep. I'm gonna say, people don't talk about it much, but it does take a lot of bravery to go up on the stream and have that aspect of pressure. I know, even me, I talk for like this 3 times a week, and I felt the pressure of being on like a proper, bigger channel. So, even if you don't finish, it is always a lovely time to have you out, a massive mark of bravery, and we love seeing you happen.
One thing I do notice that it really became evident recently, Burt Reynolds isn't just playing with a shuffle of the palette and the special character names, he is playing with randomized music, and it's very jarring when you realize that. And we are hearing his music, like this is a normal sound for this floor, but some of his other music just doesn't compute.
Yep. I thought we had pulled up one of those free music sites for a hot minute.
Yeah, you see the menu music is not normally the overworld theme.
Yep.
And it looks like it was in fact a power outage that took Sorbius out of the match.
Oh dear.
Ghost Pirates is fighting the Warmech as
More
well.
Warmechs.
So
Everyone gets a treat.
bless the glorious Ultra Mega Chicken.
Great beast of the sky, hear my cry. I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh! To remember the rest of the chant.
I was just saying, rise, chicken, arise.
Rise to a delicious golden brown in the oven. Ooh.
You have not seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and that is a dead robot chicken. And we have our first encounter with Speed Bump Mark II for Burt Reynolds. And Zap is a non-vanilla, but it's kind of better than the vanilla, which is Nuke out of a Lich 2, but that is a dead Black Mage. Gonna have to bring that one back up.
It's fine.
Normally, Speed Bump Mark II is not that great, but hey, the fun thing about these fiends is Warmech, the final fiend fights, and Chaos, all of their abilities are in a common pool and shuffled around. So, some of these characters that have things like Zap suddenly have Nuke, and some of these who have Nuke have Zap, and as I was speaking, Burt takes down Carry too. Thank you to our rep for Speed Gaming. Switching us up to the 2 players so we have a bit bigger view of our runners.
The magic of editing. I wish I had such power.
The power of Speed Gaming's ever awesome restreaming Speed Gaming bot system.
They're letting the
Human
AI
input.
take my job.
Human input makes things so much, or is made so much easier to have an effect.
True.
So that is a Skyor lit for Ghost Pirates. He is out. He is stalking up ahead of the dive into Canaria. Probably looking for pro rings or bracelets. Didn't find them. Gonna go ahead and go into the past as Burt Reynolds is down on seafloor and taking on the Punch Master herself, Kraken 2. Will his Punch Master be enough to outdo the Kraken 2, who has Bane instead of Punch? This is less effective than Punch normally is from Kraken.
Disrespect, do it back.
There goes the Punch. That duck hit for 5 hits for 1500, and a duck that normally hits for 10 hits, so that's an evasive Kraken, but an overstuffing duckin with 2080 damage. 8 hits and dead Kraken onto Tia floor.
You know, if we were to, do the turducken method, but with Kraken, would it be like a Caladucken? Or a Caladucky? I'm gonna figure this out.
I will leave that to your mind, as Burt is dealing with some encounters on Tia's floor. Wow, this encounter table got really thick all of a sudden, but hopefully not too much trouble going with the Ice 3 on these airs. They are affected by ice magic, so that they will go down pretty reasonably, and this is some good experience for the remaining party member, or for the party members too. More experience is more better regardless.
Every bit's gonna matter. Those last couple of points of damage could mean the difference between an entire extra round of fight.
I have to enjoy the fact that Ghost Pirate named his White Mage Moon as just equipped the Masa to it, so it is the Masa Moon wielding Masa, or Moon.
We approve.
Tia 2 takes down the Black Mage, who has been put in the position up front as the Ablative Meat Shield. Meanwhile, Roostic and Inbiz and Punch, 8 hits, 609. This is a more absorbing Kraken, or Tia 2, than Tia 1 was. Another hit coming out, 7 hits, 315. That is a very, very tough, scaly dragon.
Hey. Don't you diss her like that.
That's not a diss. Dragons are extremely prideful in how tough their scales are. I complimented her. I should know. I am one.
Really? I mean, you know what? That's on me for assuming based on the icon.
Well, I mean, you can't see the horns, but either way.
Yeah.
Regardless, we
Ooh,
have
that
our
is a
chaos fight.
pretty
That is-
chaos. I love red and purple are just chef's
That's
kiss.
That is a Cracker Jack attack, and it does not affect Ruse coming, or Stick coming out, Temper coming out, and Viz coming out. No Fast, unfortunately, because Fast. Oop, there's a nuke. We have found another nuke in the pool. Fast doubles the amount of hits that a character can throw. So if you have a 20-hit black belt with Temper Cast on it and Fast Cast, that's where it gets really damaged. Either way, 10 hits, swings in, 3 hits, 395. This is an evasive chaos.
He's flighty.
Well, it's got the wings for a reason.
Alright, all that temper up. Ooh, and Blizzard too. Oof.
Get the max power elemental ice spell. 5 hits, 1900. That's much more like it. Rub comes out for no effect, Temper comes out, Cure comes out, really wants to keep the party freshen up. 3 hits, 1169. And Chaos is terminated. GG's in chat for Burt Reynolds, the winner of Race 2 tonight.
That timer's not stopping, but it is about a 1:32:30. Or 1:32:28, according to race time.
Not too far behind, all things clear, is Ghost Pirate.
Guess I should see this finish up relatively soon. In the meantime, we'll see if they want interviews. It is getting a little late. And smacking up a Kraken. Get that temper up. Same deal that we've seen as many times as we have. Ooh. Bane taking that poor Black Mage down. This is what happens when you have minus 10 luck, minus 10 magic defense. Just everything is a bad time. You should not go to Vegas. Ooh, and punched out the White Mage too. That could be rough.
And we are joined as as Kraken goes down for Ghost Pirates by our runner on stream, Burt Reynolds. GG.
Thank you. GG's, guys.
This was a hard one, yeah?
It's kind of what I expected. It's why I tried to steer our group towards this one. I got really lucky because this is sort of my... this is definitely in my wheelhouse, the difficult seeds. At that beginning, I thought I was losing this for sure.
It's not called beginner Burt harder for nothing.
Yeah, I think I got nuked 4 times in that seed by mummies. That escape from the waterfall with no exit and like...
Oh yeah, we watched you in pain. What was it? Was it the marsh dip that you like had to do like 7 or 8 times? Like it was ridiculous.
Oh, I did a wipe in marsh, went to Elflin for supplies, went back to marsh, did another wipe in marsh, realized I couldn't do it, and Elflin didn't sell heals, so I had to walk all the way back to Conaria to buy heal potions. So it was like I finished marsh in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was rough. It had you behind for a bit, but definitely the grinding on the metal slimes compared to Goat's Pirate found the eye early, but didn't have the cube, which was another big deal. So.
Yeah, I think the metal slimes really helped sort of the mini grind to get my black belt to the place where he gets solo grind.
Yeah,
because that black belt, I mean, this whole seed felt like solo white mage for the first hour.
Well, I mean, you know, he's only got negative 10% hit plus negative 1 hit per level. It's fine.
Yeah, you can't actually get less than that.
Well, regardless of the situation, for your end, it looks like Ghost Pirates has made it through and is two-manning it with the Thief and the Black Belt. One thing noting that you did not get the Thief. You went full-on Black Belt.
Yeah, the Thief only had a 30-point agility bonus, which just to me isn't enough to take a Thief. If this Thief isn't going to be a tank for me, then I don't want him in my party.
That's fair.
Survive the nuke out of Chaos for Ghost Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
The
Question
second
is-
nuke that we saw from anything. Hey, Crack 2, yay!
Kraken the Kraken. Seeing these ruses up just to make sure that you can take as few of those hits as possible.
And losing that Thief, the Punch Cannon is online, should be able to get it done, but not having the body to try and heal up or a stack more invasion could have been a bit of a problem. This is an evasive chaos, so
Mm-hmm. An evasive chaos with Nuke and Blizzard. Fire 3 we don't care about. But Nuke and Blizzard. And there he goes already. Man mode. GG with 137.06.
GG's in chat. I'm gonna check if we can get Ghost Pirates in. Meanwhile, Bert, having seen your opponent finish off, what did you think of these Fiendry fights? I mean, yeah, Punch Cannon online, but they still weren't that easy.
No, let's see. None of them did physical attacks, which was what I was afraid of. I guess Tiamat did do one physical attack, which killed my black mage, luckily. As long as I could keep my white mage up, I was very happy. So avoiding physical attacks was good. I don't know what kind of luck Goats got though.
It was, those mages got bullied by Kraken.
I guess that's what happened, yeah. Yeah, I went as far as to cast Invis 1 on my white mage, just because I wanted to make sure she survived.
I mean, she was, low-key, just very helpful with that Cure 4 in the early spell slot level. Where was it?
It was level 6 or 5. Level 6, I think, Cure 4.
Level 6 doable. Because I don't think either of you checked the level 8 magic.
No, because I figured I was probably going to skip the tail. Like, even if I found the tail, I wasn't going to bother promoting, and was just going to accept the fact that if I didn't find Fast or any teleport magic, that I was just going to skip it.
Yep, Fast was at level, or Warp was at level 7, and Fast and Exit were both level 8, so they were out of the question.
Yeah, so my plan was just to not even check.
Probably for the best.
And we are joined by our second racer on stream, Goats Pirates GG.
Hello, thank you.
The Cube.
You.
It almost
Where-
got me. At least I didn't bounce off the teleporter.
True, at least you didn't, I have to say, it did what ADR did earlier in the race today and just kind of forget.
Where was the cube? It was in Ice Cave?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
3
yeah.
locations left, too.
50-50 chance. Guessed wrong.
Did you skip the Vorpal and the ribbon?
I found the Vorpal looking for the cube, and I found a ribbon, but I don't think I found the incentive ribbon. I don't remember.
No, I did everything actually backwards in the seed. I last location the floater after clearing ice and ordeals. That early game was just so difficult, and with the nuke mummies, I wanted to stay out of Earth Cave for as long as possible. You saw the nuke mummies, right?
Oh yeah, everyone saw the nuke monies.
Yeah, Goats actually went to avoids this ice earlier and bounced out and just left. So,
Yep. Those nuke mummies were brutal to say the least. No back-to-back nukes only applies to single enemies.
And Trance instead of nuke back to back isn't much better.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one. You get lucky when they cast trance is a bad thing to say.
Ooh.
And it's great, they keep giving you trouble the entire seed, beginning to end.
In so many locations. Just pop out mummies. Your mommy's here for a hug.
Oh, one really good thing though is the that encounter table was so nice for overworld encounters. I think I got one overworld encounter the entire seed just by accident.
Yeah, noticing how long the encounter table was early, and then of course it was perfectly timed to give you both war mechs during the Tia run-up. That was nice.
That was very funny.
Bert, we were very much enjoying the chrome blue Armech on your stream.
So beautiful. That
I don't think I
red
could.
chaos. Just.
I don't think I could ever give up palette shuffle. I want them to palette shuffle more things. I want the overworld to be palette shuffled. I want the dungeons to be palette shuffled. Just mix everything up.
I'm already terrible at geography, and the palettes are already semi-shuffled whenever you guys randomize the floors. Don't make it worse for me. I can barely identify things as it is.
Here's the trick. Somehow get the game to render in CGA.
I found actually
4 colors. Or 8 colors.
I found a website where you can make custom palettes for your emulator,
Ooh.
and you can do some really crazy stuff with that. I don't do it on stream though because it gets a little crazy.
Of course.
See, at least one of our runners in the community has it set up that the overworld dark green is replaced by white, so everything looks snowy.
It's a white Christmas after all.
Well, not to be obsessed with it, but we are running a little long. How about we go on to our final thoughts? Bert,
Sounds like a
you
plan.
leading off.
I didn't actually read like any of the documents for this tournament, so I have no idea what's happening. Is there more rounds after this? Did I qualify?
I'm not the one to ask.
I was just waiting for the pings and the races, so I guess I'll figure that out tomorrow.
Let me double check. I can at least look in what this race was titled in the race announcements on our Discord, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Feel free to stop and take a look at that. Meanwhile, Goats, did you have anything you want to add while I do this?
Well, yeah. So, Bert, my understanding, this seeds us into a semi-finals round, which is interesting.
This was the semis. This was semi group 1, and the one earlier was semi group 2.
Because we can't do them in order, that would be illegal.
Well, in any case, I'm having a lot of fun with this tournament. It's kind of a more casual tournament. You don't have to race every single weekly. You can still participate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having a good time.
Yeah, this is a great format.
It is.
Looks like ADR in chat is saying it will be a finals race next week between Bert and Shanigan.
So look forward to it wherever that happens to be. We are a lot of places.
So I don't think I've ever beat Shanigan.
I believe in you. Here,
Practice.
take the last of my energy. That said, I think that that is everything. So thanks everyone for coming out to the Speed Gaming channel to view both semi-final games of the Lefeinian ladder, whether you missed the first one or not. You can always look forward to more FFR content, occasionally here, most of the time on the FFR channel itself. And yeah, join the community, the Discord, and all that fun jazz. We are a lovely bunch. I'm not even a Final Fantasy player, but I get to be a part of it. Special thanks to both of our trackers today, Red Mage, who was in the first game, and good old Socket for second. And thank you, Thavian, for coming and saving my geography failing butt halfway through the first run as well.
Would have been there the entire time, but I still had to get home from work. But glad to be able to help out either way.
As you do. Anywho, if you're looking forward to any of us, most of us are easily findable. I'm under the name Isabel Zephyr normally, and we have plenty of other stuff going on in the future. I believe there is the Final Fantasy LADXR crossover archipelago race or tournament that will be coming up. That will be starting its signups relatively soon, probably within the next week or so if I had to guess, but you never know. We have a lot of administrative stuff to do, like finishing up this, and the co-op tournament still has its finals to do as well, which I have been very excited with what I've seen of it. Look forward to it. Anything last you'd like to say, Thavian?
Well, just final thank you to our crew and her crew, yourself as well. I mean, you started with this and did both races, and Speed Gaming, of course, for hosting us. And our runners, Socket, thank you much for joining in, and hope you can help us out with more races. We can always use more crew members.
Yes, don't make me do everything. Anyway, though, it's getting late. Everyone hydrate, rest up, and be ready for more exciting content both here and elsewhere. See you later.